What if everything we thought we knew about the town was wrong? What if the monsters were never the real threat? And what if episode 10 is about to reveal the true force behind everything? The trailer for From Season 4 episode 10 might have just shown us the beginning of the end, and hidden inside it are clues that completely change the story. Because after watching it again and again, one thing is very clear. This finale is not just about survival anymore. It is about breaking the cycle once and for all. And judging by what we saw, someone may not make it out alive. The episode 10 trailer wastes no time. It opens with chaos. The sky turns red, the ground starts shaking, and for the first time, it feels like the entire town itself is reacting. This is important because we've seen strange weather before, but never like this. This feels different, bigger, almost like something has been awakened. And that immediately takes us back to the ending of episode 9. Jade and Tabitha are trapped inside the bone chamber. The monsters have arrived. And now the trailer confirms what we feared. They are going inside. The cowboy monster pulls back the tarp, and Jade and Tabitha look completely terrified. But here's the strange part. The talisman should have protected that entrance. So why are the monsters able to enter? This is where things get interesting. I think there are only two possibilities. The first is simple. The earthquake causes the structure to break, damaging the protective barrier. If the chamber is no longer fully sealed, the talisman may stop working. But the second theory is much darker. What if digging up the bone chamber itself is what destroyed the protection? Think about it. For years, the show has focused on the talismans, but we still don't know what powers them. What if the bones beneath the tree were the source? What if those buried children weren't just victims, but part of the system holding everything together? And by digging them up, Jade and Tabitha may have accidentally broken the town's only defense. That would explain everything. Why the monsters suddenly seem bolder. Why the storm begins right after. And why Boyd looks completely helpless in the trailer. Because if the talismans are useless now, then nobody is safe anymore. And that changes the entire game. But there's something even bigger hiding in this trailer. The red storm. This may be the most important clue of all. Those red lightning strikes look almost identical to the symbols painted on the cave walls. Especially that giant red figure we saw earlier this season. For a long time, many believed that symbol represented the true evil behind the town. Not Smiley. Not the man in yellow. Something older. Something far worse. And if that's true, then this storm may be its arrival. Think about the timing. The bones are disturbed. The tree is destroyed. The monsters enter. And then the sky turns red. That can't be random. It feels like removing the tree was like pulling a cork out of a bottle. Whatever was trapped underneath is now free. And suddenly Victor's warnings start making more sense. He always said the trees mattered. The boy in white said they were important. But maybe not because they transport people. Maybe because they keep something locked away. And now that lock is broken. That could explain why the town itself looks like it's changing. In the trailer, we see cracks opening in the ground. Buildings shaking. People panicking. This doesn't feel like a normal attack. It feels like the rules of the town are collapsing. And if the rules collapse, then every secret buried there could finally come out. But let's go back to Jade and Tabitha. Because their storyline might be the emotional center of this finale. Later in the trailer, we hear Jade telling Tabitha, "You need to finish this. You need to break the cycle. You deserve to go home." That line changes everything. Because it confirms one thing. They found something. Some kind of truth. Something important enough for Jade to sacrifice himself. And if Jade is saying this, it means he believes Tabitha now knows how to end all of it. But what exactly did they learn? Did they recover their original memories? Did they finally understand who started the cycle? Or did they discover that the town has repeated this exact story many times before? Because remember, From has always been obsessed with loops. Repeating patterns. Same pain. Same deaths. Same choices. And if Jade and Tabitha have seen the original beginning of that loop, then episode 10 could finally reveal the town's true origin. And honestly, that might be the biggest reveal in the entire series. Now, if Jade and Tabitha really discovered how the cycle works, then the biggest question becomes this: what does the town do when someone gets too close to the truth? Because every time someone starts understanding more, something terrible happens. And that pattern has been there since the beginning. When Jim started connecting the symbols and radio signals, chaos followed. When Boyd entered the dungeon, everything changed. When Victor began remembering his past, the town pushed back hard. And now Jade and Tabitha have gone deeper than anyone else ever has. That cannot be a coincidence. This is why I think the monsters inside the tunnel are not just hunting them. They're trying to stop them. But maybe not in the way we think. Because what if the monsters do not want Jade dead yet? This sounds strange, but hear me out. The town seems obsessed with cycles. And cycles need specific events to repeat in a certain order. If Jade plays an important role in that loop, then his death may have to happen in a very specific way. Maybe by sacrifice. Maybe by betrayal. Or maybe by the people of the town themselves. That would explain why the monsters often play games instead of simply killing everyone. They are not just predators. They are part of a system. A system designed to keep the story moving exactly the way it always has. And if Jade now understands that, his sacrifice could be his way of breaking it. Not by surviving, but by changing the pattern. That would be huge. Because for the first time, someone would not be following the script the town wants. And maybe that's exactly why the storm is happening. Maybe the town is reacting to a broken pattern. But while Jade and Tabitha are trapped underground, the people above are facing their own disaster. Boyd's trailer scenes are extremely important. We hear Christy asking, "What happens next?" And Boyd answers, "There is no plan B." That line tells us everything. It means whatever they tried has failed. And Boyd knows it. This is a man who always has a backup plan. Even when things fall apart, Boyd finds another way. But not this time. This time, he sounds defeated. And that's terrifying. Because if Boyd has no answers, then the town is in worse shape than ever before. In the trailer, we also see Ellis, Fatima, Randall, and Boyd standing outside the clinic, staring at the storm. Nobody is running. Nobody is fighting. They're just watching. That tells me one thing. Whatever they are seeing is bigger than the monsters. Maybe the storm itself is dangerous. Or maybe something is coming with it. And that's where the clinic scene becomes really interesting. Because we see Smiley inside. That should be impossible. If the talisman is still active, he should not be able to enter. So either the protection is gone, or the rules have changed. And if the rules have changed, then nowhere is safe anymore. Not the houses. Not Colony House. Not the sheriff's station. Nowhere. That creates total panic. And panic is exactly what this finale needs. Because once the survivors realize their safe spaces are gone, everything becomes survival again. But then there's Ethan. And his scene might be one of the darkest in the trailer. He's crying, telling Julie, "Everyone here is going to die." That is a brutal line, especially coming from Ethan. He has always represented hope, belief, imagination. But now even he sounds broken. And that matters. Because Ethan has often been connected to truths nobody else understands. Almost like the town speaks to him differently. So when he says everyone is going to die, we have to take that seriously. Could he be seeing something? Could Victor have told him more than we know? Or is Ethan starting to understand the same things Victor understood as a child? Because Victor's story has always been a warning. He survived when everyone else died. And now he told Ethan to be ready for the same thing. That cannot be ignored. What if episode 10 is setting up another massacre? Not just one death. Not two. But many. A complete reset. That would explain the storm. The fear. The collapsing town. It may not be the finale of this season. It may be the beginning of a new cycle. And if that's true, then somebody has to survive to remember it. Just like Victor did. But if this really is the start of a new cycle, then there is one character we need to talk about more than anyone else. Victor. Because the trailer gives us a small detail that could mean something huge. Victor is still locked away. And at first, that seems unfair. While the town is falling apart, while monsters are moving freely, and while the ground itself is breaking open, Victor is trapped. But what if that is actually protecting him? Think about it. Victor has survived longer than anyone, not because he is stronger, not because he is luckier, but because somehow he always ends up separated from the biggest disasters. Almost like the town keeps him alive for a reason. And if the cycle is repeating, Victor may be the only person who fully understands what comes next. That makes him more important than ever. Because if everyone else falls, Victor may once again become the keeper of memory. The one left behind. The one who remembers. And maybe this time, Julie joins him. Now, let's talk about Julie, because I think her role in this finale is being hidden on purpose. We barely saw her story walking this season, and that felt strange. The show spent so much time building up that ability, only to suddenly pull away from it. That usually means one thing. They are saving it. Saving it for the exact moment it matters most. And what bigger moment could there be than the collapse of the town itself? If time is breaking, if the cycle is breaking, then Julie's ability may be the key to understanding everything. Maybe she won't just story-walk into the past. Maybe she'll story-walk into the original event. The first cycle. The first sacrifice. The first deal. And if that happens, everything changes. Because for the first time, the audience would finally see how this nightmare began. Who made the deal? Who created the monsters? Who trapped the children? And most importantly, why? That's the question that has been hanging over this show since day one. Why does this place exist? And I think episode 10 might finally give us part of that answer. But there is still Sophia. And honestly, she may be the wild card of the entire finale. Her trailer scenes are chaotic, dangerous, and she sounds like someone who has stopped pretending. When she says, "Now I light the match and watch it burn," that is not just a threat. That sounds like a decision, a final choice. And if Sophia really is connected to the deeper mystery of the town, then her actions here could push everything over the edge. Maybe she kills Elgin. Maybe she makes a deal. Or maybe she reveals who she really is. And let's not forget that photograph. That old photo showing someone who looks exactly like her. That is not random. That tells us Sophia is connected to the past, far deeper than anyone realizes. And if she has existed through multiple cycles, then she may know the truth already. That makes her incredibly dangerous. Because while everyone else is trying to survive, Sophia may be trying to finish something. Something she started a long time ago. And then there's the biggest mystery still hanging over all of this. The dungeon. The ballerina. The chained man. That entire storyline feels unfinished. And I refuse to believe it was meaningless. What if the dungeon is where the true entity is held? What if the storm is opening that place again? And what if the ballerina was never a hallucination but a messenger? A warning? Because the deeper the show goes, the more it feels like everything connects back there. The dungeon, the red symbol, the bottle tree, the bones, the children. It all feels tied together. And episode May 10th finally pull those threads into one answer. As for my final prediction, I think someone major dies. I think Jade sacrifices himself. I think Tabitha escapes with the truth. I think the talismans fail. And I think the red entity finally reveals itself. Not fully, but enough to show us what's really been controlling everything. And if that happens, this finale could completely change the direction of From Forever. Because this won't just be another cliffhanger. It will be the moment we realize the monsters were only the beginning. And the real horror has been waiting underneath the town this whole time. And if that's true, Season 5 might be darker than anything we've seen before.